External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has in fact spoken to his Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir Abdollahian and has discussed the grave situation in the Israel-Hamas conflict. In a telephonic conversation, EAM Jaishankar has in fact conveyed the importance of preventing escalation of the conflict and the need to provide humanitarian support to Gaza. These conversations are of course arising as the Israel-Hamas war nearly touches a month. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav. He's an international affairs expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on NewsX. Earlier, of course, we were discussing Blinken, in fact, parleying and talking to different leaders of Arab states. And now India, of course, you also mentioned India's outreach to Israel, Palestine and other countries that are key stakeholders in West Asia, Middle East. But of course, now a telephonic conversation between EAM Jaishankar and his Iranian counterpart. What can we make of India's attempts regarding this and India's outreach to different countries during this conflict, as PM Modi has constantly reiterated the need for combating terrorism but also ensuring that civilians remain safe?
Well, Pia, I think this is a very significant call which has been made by our External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, to Iran's Foreign Minister. And I think India is also of the view that this conflict must not get escalated into a regional conflict. And India is also it will do its best to not to allow such escalation to take place. And during this call, as reports are suggesting, that he has spoken to the need for preventing any escalation of this conflict, as well as India is also very much committed to provide humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. And it is if it is not to be escalated into a regional level, this conflict, then I think Iranian side must also be convinced for this. And I think India is a country which is having a very maintain a very cordial relations with Iran, despite so much of strategic uncertainty in the West Asian region. India has continuously maintained its relations with Iran, and through our Chabahar port initiative and through our various other interaction in the several key sectors, our relationship with Iran is quite intact. And I think that is why India has been able to speak to Iranian leadership from time to time. And in these hours of crisis, when there is so much of uncertainties prevailing in the West Asian region, I think India's outreach to Iran is of enormous significance. And I think if this conflict has to be prevented from getting escalated into a regional one, then I think for that to ensure Iranian cooperation is required. And United States of America and other countries, they have been warning Iran rather not to do so, but India is obviously maintaining a friendly relations with Iran. So India can urge Iran that Iran should also think about not to allow this conflict to get escalated into a regional conflict. So I think from that point of view, I think it is a very important call. And our External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, is having a very important voice in that region. And obviously, India's strategic and economic significance is enormous in the West Asian region. So I'm sure that when our External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, has urged Iran not to allow this conflict to for any escalation and to prevent it to getting escalated to in the regional one, I think it will be heard very, very seriously. And also, India has already provided humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. India has been urging that all efforts must be made to provide humanitarian aid. So that was also another reason why this call was made. And I'm sure that this will be taken very seriously from the Iranian leadership.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.